Hey everybody, welcome to my blog. This is the success tips blog of going from being unemployed, overweight, and broke to a place of financial stability, good cash flow income, or job stability, and being in better shape than you are today. If you've been following the blog, this is day 23 of the first phase of 55 days, which is going to play into the next two phases leading up to December 22nd, 2013. That'll be almost 1 year to the day from when I was let go from my position and lost my job after almost 10 years with the company I was with. And this is a video log sharing with you tips on what I'm doing, or a video blog sharing tips on what I'm doing to be more successful, things that I'm learning along the way in my adventure to recovering and getting to a better place, and hopefully stuff that you'll find useful as well as you're going through the same process or a process similar to it. If you know somebody that's lost their job, if you know somebody that's depressed and trying to fight through what they're going through, please feel free to share this link with them. This is for real. It's not, I'm not a motivational speaker or even a professional speaker that has some agenda. I'm simply trying to share tips that I'm finding that work as I go along for myself. So on day 23 today, the topic that I want to talk about is I want to talk about keeping your eye on the prize. And we have shared, and I shared actually a few days ago, how over the course of trying to develop a goal or a habit, I should say, a habit or a behavior, that typically it takes 21 to 28 days of doing that same behavior repetitively before it becomes ingrained in you and becomes a habit. And I know the time frame varies, but we all know it's at least 3 weeks or a little bit longer that you need to do something day in, day out before it becomes a habit. And so now we're getting into that stretch of doing the things that we've been talking about in this blog, that I've been sharing, from exercising, eating better, getting out and walking, trying to be a lot more optimistic, cutting your expenses, all kinds of things that I've shared in the last 23 days. And it's to the point now where we've got to push through, because if we don't, it's not going to develop into a habit. If you give up now, which you're probably hitting the wall, as most people do at this point in trying to develop a habit, you're tired, maybe you're not seeing the results you want to see, maybe it just seems like it's taking too much, way too longer, too much energy or effort compared to what you thought on day one when you began to do this as well. So I really want to encourage you today just to push through and keep your eye on the prize. And you have to ask yourself, what is your prize? What is it that you're shooting for? And if it's financial gain, if it's just getting a job, if it's providing for your family, if it's having money again, enough discretionary income that you can take your family or your wife or significant other on vacation, then that's the prize. But you have to determine what your prize is, and we talked about that on the session of goals. But keep your prize in mind every day. What is it? Why is it that you're doing this? And it'll help you push through to get to the next point, and the next week, and the week after that. Right now, it's critically important, as I said, because you're trying to break through to get to a place of developing a habit. This morning, when I was out doing my run walk, I heard a phrase that I thought was real interesting. And the phrase was that I can't wait to catch up to myself. And I just thought, that's really interesting, because what I perceive that phrase to mean as is that we all have two selves. We have a self that is very successful and that just continues to always succeed, and then we have a self that is not so successful. For some of us, it's a self-destructive self. For some of us, it's a lazy self. For some of us, it's an apathetic self. It just depends on what your self is. The bad self that pulls you back and holds you back from achieving your goals and from being everything that you could potentially be. But your good self, and I don't mean good and evil, I just mean your successful self and non-successful self. Your successful self is still pushing, still succeeding out there in the alternate universe of who you are, while your bad self is where you're at now and you're not doing so well, or your unsuccessful self. And so I just thought that phrase was really interesting, that I can't wait to catch up to myself. And I feel like, all of us, I'm sure all of you at some point in your life have felt success. You've been successful. And if you're watching this blog, you're probably not so successful right now, but you probably have been successful in some venture, something that you've done, whether it's being a successful parent, successful spouse, a successful business partner, an employee, something. You've been successful somewhere in your life. You know what it's like to feel that kind of jaw-dropping, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did this kind of success. good success, and you know what it feels like. But that person's still there. That person's out there somewhere in the universe of alternate universes doing their thing. And what we are now is we're in our bad spot with our unsuccessful self, trying to figure out how to catch up. And so I thought that was great, and that really put it into me. I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I want to catch up to my successful self. I can't wait to see my successful self again, and in shape and financially sound, and just feeling good about everything I'm doing. So as you push through today, again, keep your eye on the prize. What is it? If it's your successful self that you can't wait to see again or can't wait to meet again, then let that be your prize. But whatever it is, keep your eye on it. You're almost there of forming a habit. Push through. Keep exercising. Keep eating well. And tomorrow on day 24, I think it is, day 24, I'll be back with another success tip to help you out. So have a great Tuesday. Have a great middle of the week, and we'll catch up again tomorrow.